Hello everyone, this is Kevin T. Rodriguez, film critic of iCritic.net, and I've got a little bit of a rant, and I know that this rant is not going to be complaining about anything particularly new. This has been a problem that's been around for a long time. This is a problem that is so old that it was around before the invention of cell phones. And that is people talking in the theater. So, tonight, or I guess technically last night by the time this goes up, I went to Century Theaters to see My Cousin Rachel. Obviously a movie everybody wants to see, right? And there was not a lot of people there. There was me, one other guy, and a couple. So 3 guys, 1 girl. Not a very big theater. And shortly after the movie started, like we're talking like 30 seconds, the lady in the theater started talking. Or started making small whisper comments. Now her boyfriend, at least I assume it was her boyfriend, did tell her, shh, be quiet, a few times. So I didn't get upset just yet. It's annoying, but you know what? Sometimes we have that friend who likes to talk and they forget they're not in their living room. They're in a public building. And we have to tell them to be quiet, and they'll usually be quiet. This woman was not being quiet. And after about 10 minutes of her not being quiet, I got up and I went to someone who was in charge and said, hey, this woman is talking. Will you please escort her out of the theater? He said, okay, we'll send someone to check up on that. So I went back and someone was there and he kind of hung there for like 35 seconds. Then he left. Woman didn't talk while he was there, but she talked like 2 seconds after he left, of course. Another 6 months go by and she's still talking. Now, granted, she's not talking consistently the whole time. It's like there's a little bit of information, a little bit of information, a little bit of information. I'm like, oh, God. So I leave again. And I get the guy, and this time he comes personally and says, you know what, since you had to come out twice after the movie, we'll give you a free pass to come to another movie. Go in. He waits probably 40, 50 seconds. Interestingly, she does whisper a comment while he's there, but I guess he didn't hear it because he's standing, I'm going to guess, a little bit this way. And that might be far enough away where hearing a whisper isn't readily apparent. But then he leaves and she's still talking. Now, interesting, after he leaves, she doesn't talk for 3 minutes. And before I heard her boyfriend say, gotta be quiet, they're gonna throw us out. Which means this probably is not the first time this has happened. And they know their way around their system. They especially know not to talk when they see a theater guy in the theater because someone probably went to complain. But, you know, the boyfriend's trying to tell her to shut up, basically. Now, interestingly, she starts talking again, and the guy behind me, he finally talks to her and says, hey, you need to be quiet. And she looked at him and said, make me. So he gets up and walks out of the theater, goes to get the manager, like I did. And the manager comes back, hangs out, this time for like maybe a little over a minute, and leaves. Didn't hear her talk. Once he leaves, a couple minutes go by, and she starts making comments again. And at that point, I just get fed up because, like, you know what? I have now left 2 times. This guy has left once. And because of the time I've left and because of the distraction with comments, I don't even know what the movie's about anymore. I'm actually now like almost a half hour into this movie. I don't know what I'm watching because I am missing key pieces of information. I know there was like a death in the family and the cousin might have killed, but what's this about anymore? I can't even focus. And at that point, it's so bad, even if she didn't talk throughout the rest of the movie, I would just be sitting there almost dreading when's she going to talk, when's she going to comment, when's she going to comment on something, and I'm not paying attention to the movie. So I go out and I talk to the manager. I think he's the manager. I don't know. He gives me a free pass to come to the movie and says, and we'll refund you for this movie. Did you pay cash or card? And it's like, it's a movie pass, dude. There's no point in refunding it. I can't see the movie again anyway. So then he gives me another pass so I could see this particular movie again. I don't even know if I want to see the movie anymore because I'm so distracted. But here's my question, and this is my question to Cinemark. I understand to a certain extent the employees have to catch someone in the act of doing something before they can officially kick them out. I understand that. However, if you have a customer that comes out twice and then a second customer coming out and they're all complaining about the same lady, shouldn't there be some protocol like, hey, this person has gotten multiple complaints and, okay, we're not catching them in the act, but they might know what our system is. So we just need to trust the customers that, hey, she's being a nuisance because they have come out to complain. Well, some of us multiple times. Can't you just remove that person? And here's the other thing I was wondering, because I know that they were standing in sight so that they could see who was speaking. Here's the thing. There was one woman in this entire auditorium, not very big. 2 people came out and complained about that woman. At this point, maybe it would behoove you to stand a little out of sight, but still within earshot. And if you hear a woman talking throughout the movie, you know what woman that is and you can throw her out. Why was this so difficult? And I know people are going to talk in the movie sometimes, and this is like a bad movie to be talking in front of. Like, I actually don't care if people talk during Transformers, partly because A, the movie's not very good, and B, it's so loud, I think you could be talking in this pitched voice and no one would hear you. That's how loud those movies are. This is a very quiet, dialogue-driven movie, My Cousin Rachel. And there's not a lot of noise in it. There's not a lot of sound. So even little whispering like this, it stands out. It stands out, and it's frustrating. And you know what? Your guys have to stay in there. When you get a noise complaint, like someone is talking throughout the movie, they need to be there more than 30 seconds. They need to be there at least 2 or 3 minutes. Because, hey, guess what? Some people, they're not talking throughout the whole thing. They're commenting after scenes. Stay 2 or 3 minutes and see what happens. Don't come in, look, say, well, I don't see anyone talking. Guess I'm going to leave. And then they're just going to talk when you leave. And I don't know. I mean, because here's the thing. People who talk obsessively in movies, they can, when they see someone in the corner and they know that they're keeping an ear out for people, they can keep quiet for a little while. But they have the need to comment. So if you're just going to stay there for a little while, they're going to mess up. And I don't know. I don't think, I mean, I'll give the management of this theater credit, and that's why I'm not going to name off the specific theater. It was Century Theaters. I'm not going to tell you which exact one it was, because I don't want anyone to necessarily get in trouble for this, per se. They tried with whatever options they were given to try, but it seems really silly that we're taking this, we have to catch them in the act so literally when you have multiple people complaining about the exact same person. Century, Regal, AMC. If multiple people are coming out and complaining about someone, I personally think you should not have to catch them in the act. Throw them out. Throw them out. Hey, we got multiple complaints about you. Multiple complaints. You're out of here. Because you are, the thing is, I think these people were smart enough. I think they've done this enough times that they knew, basically, that when someone was in the room, don't talk. You're going to get thrown out. But once they're out of sight, guess what? You can talk again because they're not going to catch you. And hey, who cares if the other people are distracted in the movie? Who cares if they have to leave the movie early because they don't know what the heck is going on because you're talking too much? So anyway, what about you folks? Have you ever had this situation happen before? Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy the videos I make, consider becoming a Patreon. It can cost as little as $1 a month, or buying some swag from the Great Media Universe store. There is a code below so that you can get 15% off your entire first order. Every little bit helps, and it helps me create more movies for you guys, and more videos, and more content. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.